Okay, good morning, 8th grade class. We are back here for another day of good old-fashioned 8th grade pre-algebra math. So we are doing the second half of our lesson from 10.2. So if you want to follow along, turn to page 399. If you want to follow along with me, I would suggest doing that. So our next part of this lesson is a new term called leaf and stem diagram. Okay, whoa, if I can spell that, diagram right there. And the best part about this is that you have a stem and you have a leaf. So the way that this works is we'll be given a set of numbers, and I'm going to just clear the canvas and just launch right in here. So we're going to be given a set of numbers that will look something like this: 16, 29, 29, 30, 35. Okay, if you look at an example 39, 40, this is example number 4. Okay, if you're following along, here, example number 4, 40, and then we have 44, then we have 46, 50, 51, and 70. Now the way this works is we literally just make a chart here, make a little line, there's our little line, and at the top we have what's called the stem on the side and the leaf on that side. Okay, that makes sense, right? Stem and leaf and stem, diagram, whatever you want to call it. So the way this works is we take the first number, which I'm going to underline in each one, and we put that on the stem. The first number is the stem. So if it's a duplicate, like here, we have 2 and 2, we're only going to put 1 over here. Okay, so we have 1, we have a 2, then over here we have a 3. It doesn't matter how many we have, we just put 1. Doesn't matter how many 4s, but we have a 4, we have a 5, and we have a 7. Okay. Now, that's pretty easy, right? If it's duplicate, you just only do it once. If it's there, you put it on there. That's the stem. That's the first number. Now, the leaf is the second half. So in this case, it'll be 6, 9, all these, right? All the second half, and it will match with that side. Now, if there are duplicates, we actually do write them out in this case. So in the 1, the only thing that matches a 1 is a 6. Thing that matches a 2 is a 9 and a 9. What matches the 3 is a 0, a 5, and a 9. What matches the 4 is a 0, a 4, and a 6. What matches the 5 is a 0 and a 1. There we go. And what matches the 7 is a 0. Okay, does that make sense? That's literally all we have to do for stem and leaf. Okay, so you take the left side is the stem, so that's the first number over here. The side is the first number, this side is the second number. Okay, that's all that we have to do. So if you need to pause it, go ahead and pause it. If you need to take a picture of that, if you want to write it down, go ahead and do that. I'm going to clear the canvas and do another one just to show you. I'm going to do it again with some different numbers. So let's say that the numbers this time are bigger, like they're 120, 125, 129, 129. Okay, this is example 5 if you turn the page. 134, 138, 143, 143, 149, 149, right? A lot of big numbers here. 156. 159, and 161. Now we do the same thing that we had done before. We come up here and we make a stem on that side, and we have our leaf on that side, right? That is the exact same. The only difference is that we use the first 2 as the stem. Do you see that I'm underlining? We just use the first 2 as the stem. So if there's duplicates, we only write them once. So to use the stem here, I'm going to use it in green. We have a 12, and we have 1, 2, 3 of 4 of them, but that doesn't matter because we just need one of them. Then we have a 13 stem, one here, one here. Then we have a 14 stem, and we have 4 of them. Again, it doesn't matter how many we have. We have a 15 stem, and then we have one 16 stem. Okay, it's the exact same thing that we did, and the leaf then is just the little last guy at the end. So let me underline him in red. It's going to be 0, 5, all of these underlined, right? Just like we did on the previous example. Now we're just going to add them all where they go. So up here, this first one has a lot. It has a 0, then it has a 5, a 9, and a 9. Remember, we write them all. So the leaf, we write them all. The stem, we don't. For the 3, we have a 4 and an 8. For the 4, we have a 3, a 9, a 9. For the 15, we have a 6 and a 9. And for that, we have a 1. Okay, I hope that makes sense. It's not super complicated, but that's the stem and leaf diagram. Okay, so if you need to take a picture of that, go ahead and do it. I think in the homework, they'll do one that has decimals, and then they'll just say use the left-hand side of the decimal as the stem and the right-hand side as the leaf. Okay, so not very hard. Now, the other part of our lesson